Welcome back, everyone, to Talking It Out with Bachelor Nation. Another exciting show for you today. We have Rodney from Michelle's season here to talk about his journey and his relationship with Michelle. Can't wait to talk to him about that. What do you say, Mike?
I want to get right into it, but my stepmom, she was loving Rodney on this past Tuesday's episode. She was loving him, so I know the fans were too.
Rodney definitely stepped up. But before we bring him on, you know how we do. We got to discuss our hot takes because that's how we do it on this show. So I'm going to start it off, and I want to talk about, we always say it on this show, Mike, it's not what you say sometimes, it's how you say it. Okay. And I got to give kudos to one man who did this perfectly, because last week I talked about how on my season, anybody who talked about another man to Rachel was getting the boot. So I got to give kudos. I'm calling him Slick Rick. Slick Rick.
Yes.
Why?
Yes,
because
yes.
He basically did it right. That's how you talk. That's how you talk about somebody without talking about somebody. Yes. He basically went, he's like, look, I don't care who it was, but I'm just here to tell you that we love you. Your character is definitely not in question. None of the men here have any issues with your character. So whoever it was, and what happened? She revealed to him who it was without him having to ask. Yes. So that right there was like 101, how you talk to the Bachelorette, if you need to talk shit about another guy. And look what happened. Jamie, gone. Like, just that one conversation with her sparked the whole, group talk with Jamie. And let's not even go there because he was a disaster with his response.
Dude, how in the hell does Jamie say, and I quote, Michelle is in spring break mode? Who the hell you think you are, bruh?
Now,
Jamie, I'm talking directly to you.
Hot mic, bro. Hot mic. Keep those feelings inside. No, that was disrespectful.
It was incredibly disrespectful. Like, who are you talking to, bro? Like, I think about this show like as in someone's parents watching. If that was my daughter and somebody said that's my daughter, the Bachelorette, I'd slap the hell out of you from the screen.
Yeah. No, and check it. Listen to who he was talking about.
Yes.
Brandon, he was just because he's 26, he was basically clowning him because it's a young dude. She's giving him the rose because he's so young or whatnot.
Yeah, he was so my whole face just like
I thought Brandon is showing for his age a ton of maturity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he stepped up on that date. Like, the way he talks to her, he's like in her grill, really, sensitive and vulnerable, and he's, bringing it real, he's just telling her his truth. And I could just feel it through the screen that he's genuine. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Jamie over here being all cocky. It wasn't a good look.
Jamie, I ain't gonna lie to you. For me, everyone starts off at 0 and you move up the ladder, right? My stepmom was, when we were watching it, she was like, Jamie not even cute to be that cocky.
Oh. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think,
yo, what is going on right now?
Humble yourself, bro. Like, you gotta, you got the first one-on-one, you've made strides with Michelle, but it's like, it ain't a wrap yet, bro. Like, there's still other guys that are your competition. You got to respect that.
Yeah, you always have to respect that. Also, but to your hot take though, I want to give credit to Nate, 6'8" Nate as well.
6'8" Nate.
He can't hit a layup, but he know how to conversate. He knows how to be respectful, because when they had that conversation, just to fill as a sidebar, and when Jamie came over there, he was like, bro, I'm not trying to hear you. He was like, that doesn't affect the way that we feel about Michelle. So I think that was very
but he was
wise
talking about
and mature.
Absolutely, 100%. Better Nate than never was another one. Was another nickname for him. But yeah, Jamie started talking about characters and episodes and viewers, and it's
that's where Nate was like, who gives a F about the viewers right now? Like, bruh, we trying to get with Michelle.
It's like, did you also have a playbook? Because that sounds very playbook-ish. I don't know about you. Maybe he left it. Maybe he did the right thing, like unlike the other guy, and maybe kept it at home. But that, bringing up viewers and episodes like while you're in the show, that doesn't even make sense. And Nate called him out on it,
as he should. Call him out, Nate.
But there you go. But back to Rick. Shout out to you, Rick. You did it right.
I like Rick, man.
Yeah. Rick's down.
I really like Rick. If I felt Rick would be in my top 4, but I feel like he got friend zoned. He would be in my top 4, but to me, he's just a homie to Michelle. That's how I look at him. But I think that Rick, I feel he'll be on Paradise, and I think that he's going to get engaged. I'm calling it early. I think he's a phenomenal human being.
That's a bold statement, but
bro,
I can see it.
People.
I can see it.
People, bro.
I can see it.
Michelle, but he's good people, though.
I think there would be some Bachelor Nation women interested in him, and I could see that happening.
No, definitely so. I completely agree with you. The way that Slick Rick did it, the way that Never Too Late Nate came back with it was wonderful. Well done, gentlemen. My hot take for today. So I'm at the gym. I'm when you at the gym, I be on my phone too damn much. And on Twitter, I find out, or my homies actually tell me that Pete Davidson was in a picture, I think holding hands with Kim K. I don't know the validity behind it. I don't know if it's true or not. That ain't the point, right? Yes, holding hands though. But the point is, I was looking at this. I'm like, Pete Davidson ain't no looker, right? He ain't the best looking fella in the bunch. He don't got no muscles. He's just a funny, ambitious, loyal, from what I know, guy. And the ladies say he's well endowed, but we ain't gonna talk about that part, right?
Yeah.
he got his own little Pete Davidson swag. So, but his swag is nowhere near like he's just carefree in himself. And so I was thinking, women don't care about the looks. They don't care about all these muscles. They just want you to be loyal, ambitious, and a carefree, funny human being. And so I just want to know, like, what are your take on that?
So wait, did you, like, upon listening to that or upon thinking about that, did you leave the gym and are you converting to a dad bod now, or?
Hell no. I got goals.
Listen, my thoughts on that is, yes, a lot of guys, some guys work out because like they want to be competitive with other guys.
Yeah.
On one side, but I understand your point. Like women, they may appreciate a nice set of abs because they consider that, they see discipline in that, right? You're like, okay, this guy, he has structure, he's got discipline, but they don't necessarily I think they would take other qualities
for sure,
and a lesser looking man, like let's say, a personality, somebody who makes them laugh, stability, somebody who could protect them, not only physically but financially. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I feel that 40 years from now, the looks are going to be long gone. You know what I'm saying? For me and my wife, or for anybody in a relationship, right? Once they get to a certain age, it's like, dude, it's not about the looks. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
What it is about is, do we have a good time together? Can we laugh together? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, I want to be old and gray, laughing it up, on a porch, in a rocking chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal, not necessarily, with the whole look thing. So, how do you feel about that?
No, I completely agree with you. I was going to take it to another level, which is, I remember I had some guys on my season talk about, oh, I don't look like this or look like that. I remember talking to some of the guys from this past Paradise saying, oh, well, when, I forget, one of the good-looking dudes came down, they're like, oh, well, she doesn't want me because Thomas, I believe, he's 6'6" and good-looking. And I always preach, nobody give a damn. The women don't care, bro. Like, yeah, they might look at a Thomas, but at the same time, if you got that energy, you got that confidence, you got that self-love, you got that swag, you got that fun, loving guy, you know what I mean? That means a lot, right? But then on the flip side, to add what you had said earlier, black don't crack.
That always helps. That always helps.
A little coconut oil, but vitamin E. But I was thinking, I thought long and hard about this. I was like, I'm also 6'4", 6'5". I'm in the 1% for black wealth in this country. Most of my friends would say that, Mike, you can't say that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm really trying to take all perspectives in. I'm like, well, I can give you that because I'm a bit taller than the average guy, right? And so I'm like, well, it's almost dismissive and rude if I say that. But that's just how I feel, bro. Well, all the baddies that I see, my apologies, all the baddies that I see, 8 out of 10 are not with a guy of equal looks.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about, you got a lot of things going on, right? You know what I'm saying? You got essentially women probably look at you and you're like, he's got the total package. You know what I'm saying? He's got everything that we talked about, about a Pete Davidson but at the same time, you are a good looking dude. You know what I'm saying? You do got the height. So I guess that's like, a cherry on top. You're a unicorn, Mike. Let's just say it. You're a unicorn.
You're a freaking cute Cubano from Miami.
Colombiano, bro. Come on.
Colombiano from Miami, a doctor with no children prior to going on the show. Get the hell out of here with that. But anyway, enough of us, loving on each other. It's like what Andrew Spencer, I believe that's his last name, said about when he watched his new season. He was like, Nate is a 6'8" Chris Brown. He gonna win the show. That's what he said, right? And I was like, I kind of agree with that. Nate is a good-looking dude.
Other guys got a lot of catching up to do.
They do. And I talk about this all the time with the homies, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of hard. Because if you're a good-looking dude, you're tall, you're successful in life, and you're respectful, nice and funny, it's like almost when, they say when...
It's hard to lose. It's hard to lose.
When they say when talent doesn't work hard, that's when talent doesn't work hard, that's when hard work will win.
Yeah.
But what if you have someone that's talented and they work hard?
That's a formula right there.
Yeah, that's a hard position to be in.
But I mean, look at it. Look at this. You can't, like, if you're another dude, okay, yes, you don't have the looks. Like kind of Rodney was saying it, right? He's like, I don't got the looks. I don't got the height. Like, look at other guys that have stepped up on this episode. You have Martin. Shout out to Martin, bro.
Yeah,
representing
Martin,
the MIA, representing Miami. Like
he's the only one I know where he's from because he just looks like Miami.
Right. Finally, it's like, all right, Miami maturity. He's stepping up. He's being sincere. He went to check on her on the Top Gun date. You know what I'm saying? Like he stepped up. And then you have Brandon, young cat. He stepped up as well. They're both not the tallest guys in the group, but yet they're doing other things to step up. And Rick as well. It's Rick as well.
I mean, from my season, we had Jed Wyatt. He won the Heart of Hannah. I think he's like 5'9", 5'10". And then we had a guy named Luke Parker in our season. He was like 5'9", 5'10" as well. And so we had some tall guys in our season. So I just want the fellas out there to listen, like, bruh, if you got confidence, you got, your personality, your little swag, you're funny, you're actually a good human being, you're not a fuckboy, bruh, you can compete against every other dude out there.
Don't compare yourself to other dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you? Because that's that's who she's gonna fall in love with. That's who you want her to fall in love with. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be yourself. Whether you got the looks or you don't, you just got to bring what you bring to the table and just go with that.
You have to go with that. It's what I always say about Lizzo. Lizzo may not be someone's she may not be some guy's like first love. She may not be, right? But Lizzo's personality is A1 that you'd be like, yo, what's up, girl? You know what I mean? That stuff happens. It does happen all the time. And then Michelle kind of alluded to something. She said, and I quote, last pick for prom, but first pick for basketball.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Poem.
Yeah, in her poem.
That was powerful.
Her poem was pretty hard. It went hard, right? And so was some of the other guys did. A lot of them did, actually. I was really impressed.
Weren't you like, Chris G's going to kill this, right? Because he was the slam poetry guy. I was like, oh, this is perfect.
This is right up his alley.
Right?
He kind of did, like his delivery was the best delivery, shall I say, from what they showed us.
Yeah.
The words, though, were great from everybody. But today, we do have the one and only Rodney on. And so, therefore, I want to get his take on it because he said he's not the tallest guy. He's not the best looking guy. But then again, who are we to say, I mean, Bryan, you're a doctor. You're over 6 feet tall. I'm over 6 feet tall, financial advisor, veteran. Like, I want to hear from his perspective what he would say about that, right? So I think, let's bring him in. How about you?
Let's bring him in.
Bryan, the holidays are here. The holidays are coming, so you know what that means. I ain't buying no food whatsoever. I'm going to Postmates my stuff. It's the easy way to go.
That's it, man. With Postmates, you get all your favorite foods from the local restaurants in Miami neighborhood delivered. No leaving the house, and even better, no getting in the car or finding a parking spot.
And it's not all about the burritos and the sushi. I mean, I can order things like toothpaste, really, phone chargers on demand too. Like just whatever I want, they have it under the sun. That's because places like Walgreens and 7-Eleven are also on Postmates.
And one of my favorite parts about the app is when it lets me know that my food or items have been delivered. Everything is right outside my door. It is so easy.
Facts. All you gotta do is download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorite foods or that one thing that you forgot to get from the store and get it delivered right there on demand.
And for a limited time, Postmates is giving our Talking It Out listeners a little something. New customers will get 50% off your first 5 orders of $50 or more when you use code Talking It Out. That's code Talking It Out to get 50% off your first 5 orders of $50 or more. Max savings of $100 per order. Just download the Postmates app or sign up online. It's super easy. Offer subject to change and taxes and fees apply. Offer is valid for 30 days after you add the promo code to your account.
Nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure, man. Pleasure.
Nice to meet you guys. I really appreciate having me on today.
No, definitely. My stepmom, we were watching the episode, and she's like, Rodney is so cute. She's all for you. So I told her that we were recording with you today, and she's just really excited about it. So you got her heart.
I appreciate it. Anytime I hear Team Rodney, I just start busting up laughing. I'm like, never thought I would have that.
He got America's heart last night.
Can we get a hashtag?
Right?
Can we get a hashtag Team Rodney?
He went from friend zone to relationship zone. He caught the hearts of America. I mean, he was doing big things last night.
Dude, do you know how hard it is to go out of the friend zone? Like you did. You went out of the friend zone. That's good.
Nah, see, because I was very excited to hop on today. I listened to the last couple episodes, and I was like, man, I heard Rodney's a friend zone guy. I was like, man, I got to change that. I got to change Mike's mind, Bryan's mind. I was like, I know I could be better than that. I had to show the world what I'm about. So I'm glad that Michelle noticed that, and that's all I really care about.
No, we're glad she noticed as well. We just keep it honest here on Talking It Out, man. Just nothing but the truth. Just some fellas talking.
I like that. That's why I'm excited for today.
All right, Rodney. So if you said you watched the last couple of episodes, you know we do a hot take at the beginning of every single episode. And today our hot take, I had you in my mind, man. And I also had Pete Davidson in my mind because I don't know if you heard, but rumors have it, Adele.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that Pete, he was, you know what I'm saying? He was with Kim K. He was with Kim.
Is that real? And Not Scary Farm, is that real?
We don't know.
It's rumored. It's rumored.
It's rumored. We don't know the truth. It might just be, a stunt. We don't know. Kim might come out with her rap album. We don't know. But I'm going to stick with it with this conversation, right? This hot take. You said something last night that has been a conversation, I'm sure, of all 3 of our homeboy friend groups. The gist of what you said was, I'm not the best looking guy. I'm not the tallest looking guy. And that touched me, right? I may or may not be taller than you. But I was like, Pete Davidson, he ain't that good looking. He ain't that good looking. I mean, I just looked up his height. He is kind of tall. But he ain't the best looking guy in a bunch, right? When it comes to Hollywood, he for damn sure ain't the best looking. But Pete got game. Pete is hilarious. Pete got swag. Well, from another rumor that Ariana said is that, he's hung well. But in order to find out that you hung well, you got to have game to get to that part, right? You know what I mean? So
I thought Rodney was you were showing that BDE last night, bro. You were bringing that swag, you were bringing that confidence, and a lot of times that's what women look for first.
And he put that deep voice on you, Bryan. Yeah, most definitely.
No, I didn't mean to switch it up like that.
Oh, you got that right.
Yeah,
I definitely get what you guys are talking about. Like, I wanted to make it known, and I'm very realistic, and when it comes to self-awareness, I like to think that I have a lot of that. And so, walking in night one and seeing the guys seeing my competition, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a rough season. Let's see what I can make of it. But I knew all I have to do is just be me. At the end of the day, that's all I could do. And I wanted to make that known and just say, hey, I know for a fact I'm not the tallest, I'm not the strongest, I'm not the smartest in the room, anything like that. But at the end of the day, if you can understand that what I bring to the table is usually and most often the biggest smile, the biggest heart. And I love to bring a different type of energy and enthusiasm to the room. So as long as you can feel that energy, then I'm good to go with that. And that's really the main point I try to get across. I don't care who I'm going up against. I'm fine with being the underdog, but I'm just going to be me and see if that works out.
I love that attitude.
It's not even a competition. It's just, you trying to find your woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you got a one-on-one.
I did. Very
if you were worrying about other people, I mean, that would take away from you interacting with her, you know what I'm saying? And her getting to know you and you getting to know her. So at the end of the day, I love what you said right there, man. Like, everybody in this world is unique. Everybody brings something different to the table. Exactly. And that's what you focused on, you know what I'm saying? Rather than focusing on other dudes. So kudos to you, man. But let's talk about your arrival. You talked about getting out of that limo, seeing the competition. You showed up as an apple. What went into that? Talk to me.
That's why. Yeah, I had a couple ideas on the table that I was thinking of. Just, I mean, you guys know how it is. You know, you're in the hotel room, you got a lot to think about and process to figure out how you want to impress this woman. And, you know, I could only think about what exactly I was going to do to really catch her eye and to show her, hey, I'm very different than everyone else you're about to see tonight. And so obviously at the end of the day, I made that decision. I went with that. And I think that's another reason that led to me walking down those stairs, seeing all these guys. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Everyone in here, 6'4 plus, perfect skin. I'm walking in third shortest guy in the room. I'm an apple. So I knew it was going to be a rough start.
But you chose the apple.
Yeah, I made that conscious decision. And, you know, it's just funny looking back at it now and seeing how it all played out and remembering that moment of me walking up and getting out the limo. I thought I had time. And, you know, I was just getting in my mind like, okay, everything's going to be cool. It's game day. Let me get my mind right. You know, as a former athlete, that's how I did think about it. And so as soon as I get out that limo, instantly everything goes out the window. I started shaking. I'm nervous. You know, everyone's sweating. Just you guys understand how that goes. Just having all the lights, camera on you, just something I'm not used to at all. And so as soon as I walk up to her and she's just looking so beautiful, so stunning, I was just instantly nervous. And you guys have seen Michelle. She's very quick. She's very smart. She has a response for everything. So that's something I think someone else mentioned it too. I did not expect her to be as quick as she was. I thought it was just going to be a hi, you know, my name is Rodney. This is what I'm thinking. And then I move on to the next. I thought that's how it was going to be. And then she hit me with a line. I kind of freaked out a little bit and just didn't know what I was saying.
But
I just blacked out in that moment. And I just was like, oh my God, I got to get out of here.
Isn't that sexy though in a woman? Like she can come right back at you and like go tit for tat. I love that.
Absolutely. No, I mean, she's just so attractive to me in every way. And especially in that moment, I was like, oh, that's what I'm looking for, is someone who could be that quick and still be that funny and witty. And just, that's exactly what I was looking for. So, you know, Michelle makes it known. Yes, you can open up and be vulnerable with her, but she still has a funny, goofy side too, that she wants to let be known, you know, and a lot of people don't know that, don't see that. And so I'm glad that I was able to see that from night one, from the get-go.
Definitely so. You said, you know, from seeing her night one, when she came back with it, she was quick with it, funny as well, beautiful. Yeah, how did you feel the connection was with Michelle night one?
For me, I felt it pretty instant. So I was actually the last guy to talk to her that night. So as you guys know, night one, you know, it's a pretty late night, but I'm up there shaking. I'm like, man, I have to talk to Michelle. If I don't talk to Michelle tonight, I'm going home. Like, there's no way she's going to give me another chance to get a first impression. So being the last one to talk to her that night really actually kind of boosted my confidence, because I really felt like, not to say I was the last one on her mind, but that's just felt. And that was really the confidence I needed going into the rose ceremony, and knowing that I did make an impression. And I went straight into, hey, you've talked to everyone else tonight. It's late. I really want to do a mental health check-in. I just want to see how you're doing tonight. And I want to go straight into asking about that. And then I want to switch it and kind of get serious real quick, because I know I'm an apple. I'm already silly. But I want to switch it up and just start talking about family and start getting a little deep, because I was like, if I only got 5-10 minutes, I want to make the most out of that time to watch her keep me around. So I'm really glad that she did. And as you can see, this is where I'm at now.
Talking about that apple, man. And I'm really glad, to speak on what you spoke on, I'm really glad that you had that confidence and you were the last one to speak to her, but you let her know what it was. You showed both sides of you from the beginning, right?
Absolutely.
But to this apple, right? You said you listen to the podcast. You know, I'm gonna come at you.
Like, yeah, I already knew it.
Did you have COVID and lose your damn taste buds? Because boy, can you not pick a Granny Smith apple from a red apple? Like, what is going on?
Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, I already knew this was coming. Obviously, you know, in that moment, I have no excuse. Like, that's just me messing up. I'm not even gonna blame it on nerves or whatever it may be. And growing up, you know, when moms bought apples, it was like, hey, we go to the grocery store, it's either red or green. Like, I didn't get too crazy. I finally grew up, I was like, oh, green's Granny Smith. Like, I like Granny Smith. I like those. And then I just mixed up everything. Once I got to the show, all my knowledge of apples went out the window, as you could see. And so, yeah, now the world knows I know nothing about apples, and I'm almost 30. So it's very embarrassing.
Let's give him a break, Mike. I mean, Michelle's looking good out there. You know,
I like Rodney a lot.
You're like blinded in those moments when you get out of the limo. So
I didn't know what to say. Y'all see how stunning she was. I didn't know what to say. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she gave you the business about that, but at the end of the day, it was all good and fun.
I think we can admit she knows a lot about her apples too, by the way. Like, she knows it crazy.
That is true.
So Rodney, let's talk about this basketball date, bro. Like, you were on the basketball date.
Yeah.
Was it surprising to you that some of these guys couldn't hoop? I was seeing guys missing layups, weird dribbling skills. I don't know. It was pretty bad.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Nate was my roommate. So he kind of already warned me. I was like, oh, I can't wait. You know, we're ready for today. He's like, hey, I'm not the best at basketball. This is not my sport.
He's calling himself
I told him the same thing. I said, he warned me from the beginning. And, you know, I'm the same way. I say, hey, look, man, I'm a football player. Like, as much as I love basketball, I can't shoot to save my life. So don't even ask me to shoot. I'm all boards. I'm all defense. That's about it. And so going out there, we already knew Joe was going to be a problem. We knew Malik is a hooper too. You know, Martin and Spencer talked about it a lot. So we were all just very excited for that date because I think we all knew that was going to be one of the best dates to actually impress Michelle on that scale because we knew how passionate she is about basketball. And so, yeah, I couldn't wait to get out there and just at least show my athletic ability and my drive saying, hey, no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm still going to be very competitive and give it everything I got. And so, yeah, she could tell from the get-go I was all in. But I love that date. We had a great time with those competitions, and I just really had a great time.
Love that. Now, I hope that you talk crap about Nate, though. He said that he can't play basketball, but the boy, he put his arm up. He already at the rim.
Yeah. I was like, Nate, you got to jam that, bro.
You got to jam that, Nate.
No layups, bro.
Come on.
Rodney, man, I love your energy right now. I love your energy on the show. You seem to come off just absolutely amazing, a 10, right? And so, but then also you have such a vulnerable aspect to you. You're not scared to just be 100 about what's going on, what's taking place. Can you talk to us about who was Rodney before on to the Bachelorette? You're how old, 29 right now?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Who tell us a little bit about you? I really want to know because I just love your personality.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much, man. And to be honest with you, I think growing up my entire life, it was just always known as like Rodney, the football player. And so I really dedicated, my life, and that was really my first love, my passion was just playing football. So I always wanted to make sure that the focus was on football and my grades, and that's really what I cared about. And so that kind of carried on throughout my life, whether it's high school, college. I just wanted to do whatever I could to really excel at that sport and really give it my all. And so after football was done for me, and, as an athlete, we all know, when your time is done and your body will let you know, hey, you can't do this anymore. And so, I really came to terms with that. I know a lot of guys kind of struggle with that, and they're like, hey, what's next in my life? And so for me, I really took it as, okay, what's the next challenge? What's the next step for me? I'm not going to make it to the league, but what else can I do in my life to where I could still bring that competitive energy, my enthusiasm, and my passion to somewhere else? And so I'm very blessed and thankful. I work in outside sales now. So that to me was something. I've worked at a couple sales jobs now to this point in my life. But that for me kind of gave me that new drive to still be who I am. And, still, I love meeting new people. I love being social. I love making new connections, new friends, new relationships, and so that's something that gets me very excited. And, I was ready, once I got to this setting, I wasn't really nervous. I know some other guys, it was a little tough for them adapting because they weren't really used to the environment. But growing up, when I'm in the locker room my entire life, I played football at different colleges, 100 guys in each locker room. And so that's what I'm used to, or whether it was coaching high school football, I'm used to just being around the guys and making sure that those conversations are had, and whether I'm developing someone, still bringing my energy, still laughing, joking around, whatever it may be. I was very excited to be in the environment and just say, okay, I know I could do this, and I could find a way to just try to shine as much as possible. So that's kind of the bulk of my story, is just being a former student athlete, trying to carry that into my life. But also, growing up with my mom, that was also a different struggle too, because I grew up with a single mom. And so her and I are like this from day one. My dad left me when I was 6 years old. And so when that happened as a young kid, I'm like, okay, I got to step up and be the man of the house at 6 years old. I was tripping, but I was a kid. And so at the end of the day, I want to do whatever I could to really show her how I can help her out in that sense. And so a lot of my personality and my energy, I really have my mom to thank for that, because she really showed me the way of just saying, hey, no matter what type of struggle you're coming from, you could still be you throughout. And as long as you kind of pray through it all, stay hopeful, stay enthusiastic, and don't let the world bring you down, then you could really get through anything. And so that's something that really got me excited, and just kind of taking that through from her and leaving that in through the rest of my life, is just making sure, hey, no matter what situation I'm in or what's going on through life, I want to make sure ever in my vicinity, I'm really bringing that energy up, and I'm making sure that people around me know it's good vibes and good energy. And no matter what, at the end of the day, we're going to have a good time.
Shout out to Mom for that.
Mike, I want to run through a wall for this guy, dude. Like,
let's do it.
What position did you play, bro? I feel like, were you captain of the team?
I was captain.
There you go.
It makes sense, because I feel like you were giving the pregame speeches, the halftime speeches, like getting on guys. Like, I'm freaking pumped right now, man. You have a career in motivational speaking.
Rodney, I completely agree with you there, Bryan. Rodney, you said that you were ready, like you're ready to go on the show. You were talking about in terms of like you've been in the locker rooms, you know how to like amp up the guys, be yourself. But I want to know how, like, tell me about your past when it comes to relationships. How are you ready to be so vulnerable to Michelle? How are you ready to be so open to Michelle, and just open up to her and speak to her and potentially fall in love with her?
Yeah, that's a great question. Throughout my life, I studied, mass communications and journalism. So nonstop, all day, every day, whether it's writing papers or speaking, I'm doing my best to be a better communicator. And so I think looking back at my past, through my past relationships, I tried to do the best I could at just helping out in terms of communication. And so with my exes in my past relationship, I would really try to do my best to just communicate how I felt at the time. I think we all know as men, that's not always easy, because we're not always given that space, or, bruh, stop being in your feelings, stop doing that. That's not how I operate. I finally, as mature as I am now, I finally figured out, I'm like, us as men especially, we have to be able to let out and be vulnerable and show our true emotions and our feelings and what's going on in our mind and our mental. And so with my past relationships, looking back at it now, I did whatever I could to really let them know, hey, this is what I like in this relationship. This is what I don't like. This is how we can be better. And so that's something that really helped me transitioning from that to the show of Michelle asking me. And that's something where I wanted to make sure I let her know this is where I came from in my past. And I'm glad that we had that moment, because she was able to relate as well and just say, hey, stuff like this won't work. If you want to have a successful relationship, we have to get past those boundaries. And so, yeah, it really helped me. And obviously Michelle made it so easy for me to open up and be vulnerable. So I got to give a shout out to her, because she always made it so easy for me to just be me and really express how I feel.
I got to give it to you, Rodney. Actually, kudos to your mother, bro, because honestly, just hearing you speak and how you were acting on the show, like, she raised you right.
To Bryan's point, definitely kudos to your mother. It was just you were the only child, right?
So I have a younger brother. Yeah, he's younger by a year. So it was just me and him and my mom.
Just younger by a year. Wow. Did you feel almost that being the oldest and having a single parent that you had to make it happen? Like, you had to make this football career happen to support your family? Like, tell me about that.
Absolutely. Yeah. As soon as you said that, that just resonated with me, because, looking back at from such a young age, me thinking I got to be in the house, I'm like, how can I make it out this situation and really do my best to help my mom? And obviously growing up, she made sure she could do whatever she could to take me to every single practice, every game, and do whatever she could to make sure that I was successful. And so for her, I witnessed her work 3 jobs to put food on the table for us and my brother. And so me seeing that grind and that struggle, and witnessing her story come to life, that kind of gave me the motivation I needed to just saying, okay, if this woman is willing to work and sacrifice everything so I could be successful to get to the point where I'm at now in my life, I could do the same for her. And so she was very big on being a student athlete, as she was back in the day. Right. And so I had to make sure I gave it my all. And she said, if you're choosing football, you got to stick with that and really be all in. And so, I wanted to do whatever I could to make sure my grades were high so I could always be on the field and really try to achieve being a captain and leading a team. And so I was just very grateful for all those moments. And like you said, Mike, just me witnessing my mom struggle and her grind really helped me succeed and get to where I wanted to be, whether it was my football career or my current career now.
Amen, man.
So talk about your mom, because it's always cool. First thing my mom said when I got the show was, damn, they don't give you a barber?
Oh my God.
My mom got jokes, right?
Yeah.
She don't curse, so she didn't say the damn part. But what does your mom think of you on the show, man? How was that?
At first she was just so funny. She's like, wait, what is this real? And I was like, yeah, Ma. And she was excited. She's like, wait, who's the girl? And so I was like, all right, Ma, do your research, check her out, see what you think. And she was like, oh, Rodney, finally, like, just looking at her. She was like, just looking at her,
she's the
I
one.
could tell that this is, yeah. She's like, I could just tell this is a woman. This is a woman that you need. And she's just so classy and beautiful and great career and goal oriented. And, obviously talking with Michelle, and from night one, she made it clear her goal is to really change the world. And so you see that she's doing that with her students on a daily basis. And, my mom was doing the same thing. She started her own nonprofit foster family agency, transitioning into mental health, and helping transition to housing for the foster youth in our community as well. So I made instantly, like, I knew as talking with Michelle, I'm like, I spot so many similarities of what I'm looking for. And instantly Michelle checked off the boxes that I really needed in my life. And so I knew that moms, I mean, we could all agree, like, Michelle is the easiest approval for any mom anywhere, but I knew especially moms would love Michelle. And just, thinking of that moment and doing whatever I can. Like, before I left, she's like, Rodney, I have 2 rules. I said, what's that, Mom? She said, no costumes. I broke that night one. Like, so that was rough. And then her second rule was like, bring Michelle back home. And I was like, all right, Mom, I'm gonna do my best. Let me see what I could do.
Was there a third hidden rule, like, don't be shrieking butt naked on national TV?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nah. I mean, in our wildest imagination, there's no way that I would be doing that. So she thought that would go without saying. And so once I had to reveal that to her, man.
You blamed it on Michelle, no?
I was scared. No, I didn't really want to blame it on Michelle. Like,
I was scared.
It's like, Michelle made me do it, Mom. I had to.
Yeah,
I had to win her heart through that. Like that.
I was like, Mom's like, you tell me if I'm dedicated to something, go all in. So I went all in. And so it was just
yeah, Mom, I wasn't dedicated,
Yeah, I'm all in.
High key, Rodney, I am 100% stealing that date in real life. That date that y'all had was just beautiful, man. It really was. God. It was awesome. I've never seen nothing like that. It was really cool. I just thought it was wonderful. And then the way that you and Michelle just connected right there, it was great. I loved it. I love seeing you.
By far, it was the most romantic date I've ever been on, by far.
Looked like it, man. You guys, I mean, you guys hit it off tremendously well. So let's see. So I want to talk about going back to your mom, man, because Mike and I are really close to our mothers. How do you feel like growing up with your mom, living with only your mom? How did that spark the vulnerability that you showed on the show? Like, how was communication like with her? Because I feel like you are notches above the rest of the guys when it comes to, expressing yourself. And I thought you did that in a great way on the date.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, obviously having her raise me and kind of seeing her leadership. And like I mentioned earlier, her grind and her struggle, seeing where she came from to where she is now and the successful woman she is now. She was able to teach me a lot about leadership and how you lead a team and how you communicate. And so even at times where, she's taking me to practice or, talking to me after a game and correcting me on that. So yeah, she had times obviously where she had to be my father or act as my father. But when it came to dating, she made it clear of like how to treat a woman and how to make sure that you are communicating everything that's on your mind and your heart, and you're being upfront and really trying to wear your heart on your sleeve. And so that was something where I'm blessed to have her for those teachings, because now I look back at the show and I'm like, okay, I really gave it my all and really, tried to be as vulnerable as possible. And so she really helped show me that. So yeah, at times when she didn't have to act as my father, whether it's the football field or track or whatever it may be, she was able to still communicate and say, hey, Rodney, this is how you need to treat a woman. And this is how you need to be very upfront about your intentions, your feelings, your thoughts, and where your heart lies. So I was just very grateful to have that, because I think looking back at how it was on the show, I really think that helped me with my connection with Michelle.
Right. One word that comes to mind when I think about you, man, which I love, is called versatility. Like, you could
Yes,
be vulnerable, you can communicate so well with Michelle, and then at the same time you could be goofy and playful and fun.
Yeah.
And I think any woman loves that, man. And I just think you shined on that date. Like, kudos to you, man.
Bryan, hey.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The other thing that you're missing that Rodney has is when you give him a compliment, he goes,
Appreciate that.
No,
Rodney,
I'm very good.
Your voice is
thankful.
It's
No, I
hilarious,
appreciate it. Like, I really thank y'all for that. Like,
give Rodney
it
a
means-
compliment, his voice get all deep. But Rodney, I got to ask you, and I'll leave you with this. Based on what we talked about with the hot takes, with, men maybe feeling like, I don't look like this guy, I don't got the body of this guy, I don't got the height of this guy, I don't got the wallet of this guy to stand on. Like, what advice do you have that you could share with other people out there who might relate to your story?
Yeah, I think most importantly is just loving yourself. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, where you come from. You really got to love yourself. And I know that everyone has a different background, a different situation, but at the end of the day, we all go through different types of trauma. We all go through different types of struggle. But first and foremost, your mental health has to come first. And I think that all starts with truly loving yourself and having high self-esteem. And I always mention it on the show as well, is that I'm never cocky, but I am confident. And it is a humble confidence where at the end of the day, I'm going to love myself. I knew, obviously, going on this show, it would expose a lot of my flaws, and, those flaws will get called out, and that's okay.
What do you
I
think your
really
biggest
don't care
flaw
what
is?
anyone thinks. Ooh, that's a good question. Man, that's a good question. Oh,
I thought of mine earlier today, so
What is yours, Mike? What
What's
is yours?
Man? I gotta know yours.
like real talk, it was today. Today I was today years old. I was like, "Oh, that's bad." I have, I'm authoritative. I think it's the military in me, and being the oldest, I speak like
Just bossing people around?
not necessarily bossing around, but like I'm not gonna hold nothing back, and I'll
You
do
let
it
them know
in a respectful way manner. But I think it's sometimes somebody didn't ask for my 2 cents, so at times I need to just shut the hell up. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't think that's a flaw, Mike. Like, I really think you should let it be known.
I can shut up sometimes.
I mean, you have more experience with it. Man, my flaw might be, it might be like loyal to a fault. Especially looking back at like my past relationships. Those women are amazing. I wish them nothing but happiness and success. But it's something where at a certain point in time, you got to understand, if you're not being your best self and if you're not fully happy, you got to either fix that or get out. And that's something where I would let a past relationship kind of linger on because I was so hopeful and just like, things will get better. Things will get better. Whether it's a red flag or anything like that, things will get better. But it's like a year or two goes by, things aren't better. It's the exact same story.
Rodney, I'm not gonna let you go. I need to know this, bro. I need to know. I'm not gonna let you go. What's the story?
Oh no!
I'm not letting you go.
No, man,
I got another one for him before we let him go too.
You know what, Bryan? Go
Ryan.
ahead and hit me with that, man. Hit me with that.
All right, we're gonna circle back to Mike's question, but you mentioned something. Be humble, not cocky. So speaking of cocky, though, let's talk about Jamie and the whole scenario fiasco that went on with him.
Yeah.
I want to hear from somebody that was behind the scenes. Like, how did you experience that? Because when we saw it on the show this past episode, it was like, bro, you were the only one having that conversation. Like, nobody was really talking about that. You're the one that made it a big deal. You brought characters into the mix, episodes, viewers. And it's like, I thought he had a playbook. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and I was rooting for the guy. Like, Mike, he had some swag when he first came out of the limo.
We both said positive thoughts about it.
We were rooting for you, Jamie. We were rooting for you, and you let us down.
The Tyra Banks thing. We were rooting for you.
Yeah. Like, let's hear it, bro. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you mentioned something to him on the show about, like, what did you say to Michelle? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was said? Talk to me about that.
I think it kind of shows and it plays out, as you guys could see, is I was so confused. And like I said, you know, myself and Nate, we were roommates. We definitely stayed out of drama, you know, and so I kept looking back at him on the couch. I'm like, did you know about this? Like, did anyone else know about this? I'm very confused. I was not a part of these conversations or these discussions. And so, you know, looking back and remembering these nights, you know, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to come on here and diss Jamie or anything like that, but what I can say about him is, like, when he first got there, he gave us all a certain type of vibe of where, you know, we could trust him. Everything he was saying was true. And so looking at Jamie, I think deep down, he probably is a good guy who made this mistake. And I think he's probably looking back at it, wondering if it would shake out or play differently.
I agree.
But I think Jamie's obviously has some personal issues that he needs to work through. You know, as you guys saw on the show, he brought up, you know, a deeply traumatic experience. And that's something that I can't even speak for. But at the same time, yeah, we all go for, all of us, you know, whether it's cast or audience, we all go from this point of, we all love Jamie, we're rooting for Jamie. And then that switches real quick. And I'm just like, Jamie, what happened to you from this point to this point? And I truly think it's just something where he could have handled that situation so much differently. He blew it up and turned it into this big deal, to where, as you can see, the rest of the guys, we didn't care about it. Hearing about Michelle, Joe, whatever it may be, a couple messages, that didn't faze us at all. And the way that Jamie handled that and went about it is something I completely disagree with. And it's something where I look at it and just say, you know what, man, I hope you kind of deal with whatever issue might be going on or whatever you're going through, because you definitely mishandled that situation in a way that I think you could have done a much better job of relaying that message to Michelle, and also, you know, relaying it to us as well. And not just trying to hide anything or anything like that, because like we said, we all went from Team Jamie, and I was like, Jamie's a great guy, you know, and I think deep down he still is a good guy, but he really didn't handle the situation well at all. And I hope he's kind of looking back at this and saying, you know, there's some things I got to fix.
Extremely well said.
Amen.
Extremely well said. I am going to go back to that previous question, but I'm going to tell you why. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and her parents have been married for a long time, and she was mad at her dad because the mom had did some things to her dad, and growing up, she was like, she thought her dad didn't love himself, and she didn't think that her dad should be with her mom. And so I'm asking you, like, to just, I think people need to know, like, you loyal to a fault, but at times you gotta be loyal to yourself first before anybody else, right? And so that's why I was asking that question. It's just true. A lot of times they're, you know, for men and women both, like equally, we're in a relationship and we think that here's a kicker though. We think that no one will ever love me. Right. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people face, is that, you know, when they're in a bad relationship, they're like, well, I can't leave. Nobody else will love me. No one else will want me. Right. And so that's just what all I was thinking about when you had said that. But we don't got to get into it, though, man. I do definitely appreciate you.
You're right, Mike. I just like you mentioned, you know, I've been through that same thing. And I think that's why with my past couple relationships, I stuck around, and even when I shouldn't have. And when friends and family, you know, like I said, moms and I are very close. And for her to even tell me, like, Rodney, this is not the situation you're supposed to be in. You know, this is something I'm praying on for you, but I know that you could do better than this for yourself, and that she's not happy, you're not happy, and something's got to change, and you got to break this off. And so for multiple, you know, friends and family to tell me that, it's tough, because I'm like, nah, like I know what's going on, and like, I could fix the situation, or I could stay hopeful and things will change. And also it's another reason of like, maybe, especially when, you know, when my ex is telling me that, of like, no one can ever love you like I can, you almost start to believe it. And
you was told that?
I was told that a few different times. And that's something where I was like, hold up, is that true? Like, nah, that can't be the case. And so, you know, whether it's a year or two in or halfway through the relationship, which it usually happened for me with my past couple relationships, is that I really stuck around, and I just stayed hopeful. And I was like, things are going to change, and, you know, she's going to fix her flaws or her issues. I'm going to fix mine, and we can come together and make this a successful relationship and a future marriage. And I look back at it now and I'm like, man, if I would have just cut it off sooner, I would have saved her that time. I would have saved myself that time. And that's why I strongly wanted to make it known on the show is I'm not saying this at all to disrespect my ex or my exes or anything like that about my past. Like, obviously I learned a lot. My exes learned a lot as well. And they're both amazing people, especially my last ex. She's an amazing person, but her and I were not meant to be. And I saw it earlier and I didn't cut it off at the right time. And then I ended up wasting more of her time and my own as well. And so that only led to more hurt, more pain. And so obviously being older now, being more mature, I'm glad that I could see that and notice that and say, I don't want to make that mistake. Yeah. I know what I deserve. And I even told my ex, you deserve better in terms of my effort. I'm giving you a lot, but apparently you're asking for something else, or you're asking for more. And that's something that I can't give you at this point in time. Okay. At this stage of my career, at this stage of my life. And so, yeah, I'm glad that I can notice that now and make sure I don't want to make that mistake again. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I made that very clear to Michelle as well. And so, yeah, I want to do whatever I can to just, create a successful relationship just full of love and happiness.
How do you guys feel about, like I totally agree with what you were saying there, Rodney, and you too, Mike. Like, you get in these long-term relationships, 1, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be, and you get comfortable. And then it's like you said, you try to work things out, but could it also be like a little fear of the unknown? Like, okay, if I break this off, like, I don't know if you go through this, but when I've broken up, it's like, I lost my mojo. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's like, I got to get back out there. I don't, I'm not used to like the dating scene. It's like, I got to work on myself kind of, before I get back out there, you know what I'm saying? Once you break up. Is that kind of like what you went through as well?
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Bryan, because that's exactly how I felt. I was like, man, I'd rather go through this and put in the time and effort and work to fix this relationship than get back out in the dating scene. And that's something that always made me kind of nervous because I'm like, oh man, whatever, if it's hearing from my single friends, I'm like, I don't want that life. I don't want to go on these, I don't want to go on 20, 30 first dates. I don't want to keep doing this and feeling this type of way. I want to be, I'm a woman, man. I want to be committed.
Say that, boy. Say that.
Like you try to hold on.
I'm so hopeful. And like I said, man, Mike, we talked about it. Like I'm a hopeless romantic, man. I already let that be known. But I want to do whatever I can to show whoever I'm with, hey, I'm committed and I'm all in for you. And obviously, I feel like Michelle's seen that, noticed that, and that's why she did give me that rose, and I'm so thankful for that. But no matter what, whether it was before the show or on the show, I definitely don't want to waste time. And as much as I was scared about being single, I knew that, like you said, Bryan, there was stuff about me that I needed to fix. I need to fix and fully love myself first before I can go try and love someone else.
Amen.
And so that's something I was very serious about.
Rodney, from your words to our listeners' ears, what was it that pushed you over the edge and say, you know what, I need to work on me and leave this relationship?
Yeah. So for me, I know I briefly kind of mentioned it did take kind of a moment in time and an experience to kind of realize, hey, right now at this stage of our lives and our point of our relationship, we're toxic for each other. And I think it just came down to more and more pointless arguments over nothing. I'm looking back, I'm like, why are you arguing with me? I'm the type, I would never cuss at my girlfriend or my relationship. I would never do that. And so I look at somebody, I'm like, hey, look, it takes a lot to like make me mad. As y'all can tell, I never get mad. And so if you make me mad or if I get frustrated and I have to ask you, I'm like, hey, why are you talking to me like that? It should never be straight to confrontation. And I think I look back at my past relationships, especially, and just what they went through before. And they're carrying over that past trauma into our relationship. And so people do this all the time. I mean, people do this all the time, bro. Mike, and it's something I got to think about because I'm like, why is she acting this way? Why? She told me about her ex, and now she's treating me like her ex, even though I'm the complete opposite of him. I know that I'm a good, genuine guy, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make you happy. But why do you instantly, if I mess up and I'm just like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late. Why do you go straight to cussing me out? Like, what's going on? Or why are you asking to go through my phone? Here's my phone. You know, if I got to show you twice in one day, well, hold up, what's going on? And I think about it and I'm like, okay, you were cheated on or you were mistreated by someone else. And then you carry that on to you know, like I said, I'm confident but not cocky, and I know that I'm a good man, and I know what I bring to the table.
As you should. You say it with your chest.
You know, and I know how I deserve to be treated. So at a certain point in time, when you see those patterns and those issues continue to get brought back up, that's where it's like it gets to the point where you got to cut it off, because I've given you plenty of time and effort to show you who I am and what I bring to the table, and I know how I deserve to be treated. And you know, I'm not saying I'm perfect, bro. Because you know, like I said, whether I'm late to a date or whatever it may be, there's a lot of stuff I got to fix as well. But I know that at the end of the day, I'm still a good guy, full of love, full of energy. I want to do whatever I can to make sure that you're happy at the end of the day. And so, yeah, that's just really who I am and what I'm about.
Rodney for president, bro.
Rodney for president. Rodney for president. 100%. Today's matter of fact, this past Tuesday when the episode came on was voting day. So Rodney for president, 100%, man. We are going to have you back on. I've claimed you as my brother now.
Yeah,
man, bro.
I appreciate you guys.
I genuinely, man. This is what, you know how women always talking about shit saying every man's a bad guy.
Yeah,
you are a representation of a wonderful man. I mean that, man. I really love you. I really love your words. I hope that you touch multiple listeners out there. You touch me, man, and I just want to continue to watch your love unfold with Michelle, and nothing but the best for you. If it doesn't work out with Michelle, you'll open your DMs one day because it's hot.
You'll be all right, Rodney. You'll be all right regardless. All right.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
I really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for all the questions, all the conversation, man. This was very healthy and beneficial. So I really appreciate your guys' time.
So normally what Bryan and I do after every episode, we have a little takeaway. But you know, the beauty of having your own podcast, we do what we want to do. So Rodney, can you take it away? Like what's your words for the people?
Man, okay, y'all really like to put me on the spot. All I gotta say, man, is obviously thanks to you guys once again for having me on here, but to the audience or any viewers or anything like that, you know, just live each and every day to the fullest. You know, I'm very, I mentioned it earlier, I'm very faith-based, faith-driven. And so I look at what brings me joy and what brings me happiness each and every day. And, you know, wake up choosing happiness every day. And no matter what happens, like, I know whether it's a rough day or a good day, I know that I control the way I react to every situation. And so as long as your mental health is strong and you continue to work on that, you know, periods of the day, if you need 15, 30 minutes, whatever it may be, whatever helps you relax and really calm your mind, that's something that's just so healthy for everybody. But I want to do whatever I can to really just leave my mark, and who's ever around me, like I said, or whether it's this podcast, like, I want to make sure that at the end of the day, you know, like, let's be happy. You are loved. Each and every day is a blessing. It's a gift. And I'm just so excited to move on to the next and do whatever we can to just help motivate and uplift each other, because the world needs more of that, you know.
Bro, I'm buying whatever you're selling, bro. Your sales job, I got you, bro, because
you're a tech sales. What's you selling, bro?
I'll buy it.
I'll buy it.
That's too funny.
I love it, man. Well,
you guys are amazing. I really appreciate it.
You're the amazing one. We just get to listen to your voice and speak it. We appreciate you being on today.
Appreciate you, Rodney.
Thanks a lot, Mike and Bryan. Hope to see you guys soon, man. Have a good one.
For sure. 100%. Good luck the rest of the season.
All right. Thank you very much.
Phenomenal man. Phenomenal human being.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed him. I'm telling you, bro, like, I could see him giving an inspirational speech in the locker room. Like,
yes.
If I was his teammate, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'd be banging my head against the locker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be willing to run through a wall for that guy. Like, if he was my leader. So yeah, man, I love that.
The guy's going places. He's awesome. He's going to go far on Michelle's season, if not end up with Michelle. He's so authentic.
Yeah,
you know, he's just so authentic. That's the word I'm gonna give him. We need more men like Rodney.
Yeah.
Hashtag Team Rodney, straight up.
No, and like I was saying, like, his mother raised him right, bro. Like, think about all the story that he told about his mom and everything that she had to go through. So, I mean, kudos to her, man. She seems like a super strong woman that instilled in him the right morals and values. And I mean, it's displayed right now in the interview that we just did. You know what I'm saying? Like with everything she had to go through, she still raised this man by herself, and a great man he is. So, you know, kudos to her and him.
100%. Top 5 interview.
And to all of our listeners, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, and you know we always love to hear your opinions. We write back, we listen to you, your stories as well, and your insights. So please don't forget to like, comment, follow, and message us on social at Talking It Out BN. That's Talking It Out B as in Bachelor, N as in Nation on IG, or Bachelor Nation on TikTok and Facebook, and of course, Bachelor Nation on Twitter. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and listen to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. And baby, you already know. Don't DM me no more until you hit the subscribe. I love y'all.